It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, you have found me on a Friday, but I am not live today with a new episode. I'm taking the day off today. We've got a fun weekend planned, but I did not want to leave you hanging, friends. So, I have a very special episode for you. I am sharing this from my Patreon. It is a full album reaction to Imaginaerum by Nightwish. Nightwish is one of these bands that I've gotten to know while doing the Daily Doug, and I've been really excited about everything that I've heard from them, and I've planned to do a full album reaction for a long time, and back in April, it finally came true. Back in April, I put a poll up on our Patreon with 5 different Nightwish albums, and the community picked Imaginaerum, and I'm happy that they did because I really enjoyed this concept album from the band. The focus is on an older composer who is dying and looking back on his life. He's questioning his choices, he's reliving some of his ups and downs, and he's just trying to figure out what it all means, and it really connected with me. So besides the music, there's a lot of thought-provoking response from me throughout this video, which is why it's over 2 hours, y'all. So sit back, grab a drink, grab a snack, and enjoy yourself because this is a wonderful album. If you haven't heard it, take the plunge, y'all. I think that you will really enjoy it. And if you're interested in becoming a patron of ours, go to patreon.com/Doug Helvering. It is a growing and vibrant community. We just passed 5,000 members, friends, and it's full of folks who love music and love talking about music with other people. So we invite you to come over there and join us. But for today, I am happy to present my full album reaction to Imaginaerum by Nightwish. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug for what is going to be our Extended Play Lounge episode number 89. It is an amazing thing that we got to 89. I can't wait to get to 90. We've been doing these Extended Play Lounges twice a month, every month since August of 2021. It's hard to believe we've done so many, and it's hard to believe that this is the first one for our friends in Nightwish. How has it taken us 89 episodes to get to Nightwish? I don't know. We've tried several times, but there were other albums that y'all prioritized over the ones by Nightwish. But this time, the poll was entirely made up of Nightwish albums. So I was sure that they were going to win this poll in some way. Y'all picked Imaginaerum with a true majority of the vote, and I'm happy to get to this album. I went for the poll with the 2 albums from this band that I had in the master list, Imaginaerum and Human Nature. I also added in their first album with Floor Jansen, Endless Horns Most Beautiful, and their latest album, Yesterwind. But y'all picked Imaginaerum with, I believe, 52% of the overall vote. So I'm pleased to get to this one. It's going to be a lovely listening experience. I do believe we've got a concept album again today, and I've spent a couple of hours reading in and getting everything ready to go to experience this the right way. So I'm happy that you are along for the ride. I've never listened to any of Nightwish's albums all the way through, so this is going to be a true first time experience for me. Imaginaerum is their 7th studio album. It was released in October of 2011. And it's a big one, y'all. It's over 74 minutes long, and it's got 13 tracks. So buckle up. We're going to be here for a little bit. I expect between an hour and a half and 2 hours by the time we're all said and done. I have heard 3 songs from this album previously. I will let you know what those are as we go through the album. But the interesting thing, I went back and double checked. None of those 3 reactions were to the album version of what we're about to hear. It was live versions or some other thing. And so technically this will be completely a first time listen, but I am aware of a few of these songs. that I've heard on previous reaction videos. But it's been a long time since I heard any of the music from this album, so I'm eager to hear it again anew today. So with it being the album version, we get to have Annette Olson on lead vocals. This album was her second of 2 albums where she served as the lead singer of Nightwish. She departed Nightwish in 2012, the following year, and that's when Floor joined the band. We've got Tuomas Holopainen on keyboards. He is also our composer, wonderful musician and writer. Empu Vuorinen is on guitars. Marko Hayatala is on bass and vocals. And Jukka Nevalainen is on drums and percussion. That is the core band, but they've got quite a few guest musicians working with them on this project. Troy Donockley, who is now in the band, plays uilleann pipes, his tin whistle, the bodhrán, the bouzouki. He also provides some vocals. Dermot Crahan has the Hardanger fiddle, which is an instrument I don't know much about, other than that it's a kind of a folk fiddle from Norway. And we also have Dirk Campbell playing something called a sorna. I also don't know a ton about that instrument, other than that it's a Middle Eastern woodwind instrument, I think from Iran or that region. Guy Barker is on trumpet. Paul Clarvis and Stephen Henderson play some ethnic percussion. Pekka Kusito is on violin. Kai Hato is on percussion. They also have the Metro Voices of London providing some choir backing, and the London Philharmonic Orchestra is our orchestra that will be included with the bands playing and singing and all of that. So we've got a big time production here, and like I said, it's going to be quite a great experience, I expect. So with this being a concept album, the point of view of the story is from the eyes of an old and dying composer on his deathbed. He's reminiscing about his life, especially about his youth. This is something that we all do, right? Especially as we get older, we remember those times, we take stock of them, we think about their importance in our lives, you know, all of those things that I'm sure that I share with all of you, right? Tuomas said about this album that simply we are exploring the power and the power of imagination and the roller coaster of life. That's okay with me. I think it's going to be fun. Tuomas originally wanted to name the album Imagine, but they altered it so that they could have some distance between their work and the work of John Lennon, right? With the famous Imagine that John Lennon did. They also made a movie by the same name of this project, and it has the same basic plot, and it makes use of the band members and the music from this album. That's something that came out the following year. It's also something that I have not seen, so I don't know any of you know, the nuts and bolts behind the movie version of this. But for today, we're simply going to be looking at the album cuts, y'all. So I'm ready to go. There's a lot of music, so let's get to it, shall we? The first song is kind of a Finnish folk song, and we're going to hear Marko on vocals. If I could say this, Taikatalvi, Taikatalvi, Taikatalvi. It is Finnish, meaning magic, winter. So we've got a magical story, and it's set in Finland, I guess, and it looks like we're going to have some Finnish language included in this. So let's wait no longer. This is the first song, Taikatalvi, from Nightwish and their album Imaginaerum. Off we go. Cranking up the music box.
Lapsista en rakkaita Rakkain tää näyttämö on, mis kuutamo kujillaan kulkee.
I don't have a translation for this.
Kesähoivassa sen valkomeren nynaavan, joka aavekuun siiven saapuu mut kotiin noutamaan.
Beautiful. Lands in G minor. Flat 6, flat 7 to 1.
Täällä talvisemman hetki kuin ikuisuus.
Or did it move to D minor?
Kissan jaloin luokseeni
Yeah.
Tällä tarinain lähteellä asuassaan, mis viulu valtavan kaihon hiki säveltää maalaa, laulullaan herättää maa.
Yeah, it starts in D minor and it modulates to G minor as it gets to the end of the big phrase. There's some of the choir. And that woodwind. Relative major, Ray. Wow, where are they going? He's so sneaky, right? If you're not paying attention, you wouldn't get that the main tune is moved to F minor. And then it cuts out, and it's going to go right into the next song. Okay. I wish I had figured out what all of those words mean. I don't have a translation for them, but musically, starts with the music box, and that's a complicated music box. It goes from D minor, and it was going back and forth between D and F, relative major, relative minor. Right? And then as soon as you add in, once you get to F, as soon as you add in that E flat, you get two flats now instead of one, and it just winds its way and it lands in G minor. Right? And then from G minor, I think they did, I can't even tell, but I think that it went from a B flat minor chord and then landed on F minor. I think that's where they stopped. So, the next song is called Storytime, and this is one that I've heard, but it's been a long darn time since I've heard this one. It was episode 101, and when I heard this, it was the live version of Floor singing this at the Wacken show in 2013. This was the lead single of the album, Storytime, and it borrows imagery from Peter Pan. And as I remind myself with the lyrics here, it's it's lifting up the act of dreaming big and metaphorically soaring to great heights. So let's hear Storytime from Nightwish. Here we go. And we get into it. Okay. So this stays in F, but switches into Phrygian.
It was the night before, when all through the world, no words, no dreams. Then one day, arrived by a fire, Imaginaerum took a journey into a childman's heart. A painter on the shore, imagine all the world, within a snowflake on his palm. Frame of poetry, I canvas all along,
Planet Earth falling back into the stars. Remember, Peter Pan. It's a blue sky. Every chimney, every moonlit side. I am the story that will read you real. Every member that you hold dear. Oh. Still F is the flat 2 to leading tone to back to 1 and F. Really cool. Yeah. Follow the Madness, Alice. So there's another fairy tale that gets snuck in here. Flat 7 to the 4. So that's F, relative major, A flat to E flat to B flat. Nice timpani. I love the orchestration that this band uses. We call it symphonic metal. And I think it's an apt description. Neverland Innocence, Dreams of Every Man, Neverland Innocence, Every Man, Peter Pan. Okay. Great way to start an album. Cool. Really, really cool. You know, I just realized this. I'm making use of the playlist for this album from the Nightwish YouTube channel, and they put, for this song, they put the radio edit in with the video. So I was watching the video that they have available for this, and I didn't expect that to happen, but that was the radio edit of that song. So let us move on and see what they've got next. The next song is called Ghost River, and from what I can read this is one of the early songs that Tuomas wrote for the album, and he said that this one's going to be a little more theatrical and weird in sound than many of the other things that we're going to hear on the album, and he describes it as a duel between the devil and Mother Gaia. Right? They mentioned Mother Gaia up in the first song, in that last song. That was in verse 1. I saw that. It was the night before when all through the world, no word, no dreams. Then one day, a writer by a fire imagined all of Gaia took a journey into a child man's heart. Okay? So we're reaching into this composer's heart. And they're calling upon Gaia, the goddess of the earth. And so this one is going to be a duel between a personification of the devil and a personification of Mother Earth. Okay, so let's hear what they've got. Here is Ghost River from Nightwish. Off we go. Same key, F minor. So Marco comes in as the devil. The river wild will take your only child. He will go down. The mills grind slow in a riverbed ghost town. One chorus wasn't enough. It says chorus 2. Deep it down. If you want me, do not come across. Do not cross this line.
What is it to dream of, child of mine? The magic ride, the magical.
What is it you dream of? She asks.
Never met a kinder heart than yours.
I never met a kinder heart than yours. Let it bleed. Leave a footprint on every island you see. She's like, you're cool. This guy is not. Deep it down. We'll take your only child. Down, deep it down. Shit. This is wonderful. It sounds amazing. The engineering is great. So flat 6, flat 7. 2, 1, bum bum. Ba-na-na-na. Where'd they go? They went from 1 to 2. Then 2 ended up being 4 to 1. So they're in. Lost it. Lovely chorus work.
As you are.
6, 2, 7, 1. When he does that, it helps me get back on track. That's still F minor. There's 7. It's like a rock and roll Hans Zimmer. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Okay. Wow. It was a heck of a standoff, wasn't it? I got to go back and see if I can catch any more of these lyrics that went by. Wow. After we get an opening verse with Annette, who I believe is playing the role of, Mother Earth or Gaia, and then Marco with his devil incarnate, right? And we get those two choruses, and they're talking about drowning. The river wild will take your only child. The mills grind slow in a riverbed ghost town, right? The next things were just weird. She says, "What is it you dream of, child of mine? The magic ride, the mermaid cove? I've never met a kinder heart than yours. Let it bleed. Leave a footprint on every island you see." And then he comes back in. "I am the painted faces, the toxic kiss, sowing of doubt, troll beneath the bridge, come across, death by 1,000 cuts, believe it. We live as we dream or scream." I think they were both singing that. So Mother Earth is trusting and eager to share in her abundance. And the devil is eager to manipulate and take and be selfish, you know? Quite a different point of view and quite a standoff, wasn't it? Whew. Okay, so on we go to the next song, and it's called Slow Love Slow. And this is described as being a cross between the jazzy sounds of American nightclubs in the 1930s, like old school American jazz, versus the eeriness of music that we might hear on like scary movies or television shows. The one that they mentioned was like Twin Peaks, something eerie going on. I got to hear it. Let's do it. Slow Love Slow from Nightwish. Here we go. So it's up a fifth from where they were. Oh, that's cool. Goes into compound meter. I didn't imagine that when I first heard it without the percussion. The 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the...
Come and share this painting with me. Unveiling of me, the magician that never fades. This deep
So that's C minor.
coiled around my chest.
Different chord.
Intoxicated by a major chord.
Back to C minor. I have a feeling these are chromatic thirds.
Do I love you
Yeah.
for the thought of you? Slow love, slow.
Then it moves into almost a ballad.
The we are not lonely.
Slow love slow. Only the weak are not lonely. Not lonely.
Southern blue, morning dew, let down your guards. I love you. I scream.
Fun with meter in the background.
castles, lips to ear rhymes. I slumber deeper.
So he's got both a compound division and a duple division, a simple division going. That was cool.
Only the weak are not lonely.
There's that trumpet. 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the... That's cool. They're in a new key. So that's flat 6. 2, 1. Bum, 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 Huh. Back. Did you hear it? Okay. Now, that's the true flat 6 chord. It's a major chord before they were going to a minor chord on flat 6. Nice. Trumpeter is left behind, and that becomes just a memory. Is that the roller coaster getting ready to let us go? That's a heck of a long. And it felt like it got closer as we came, right? Like the click got closer to us in proximity. It wasn't so far away, right? Interesting. What a song that was. Slow, Love, Slow. Verse 1, come and share this painting with me. Unveiling of me, the magician that never failed. This deep sigh coiled around my chest, intoxicated by a major chord. I wonder, do I love you or the thought of you? I don't know what they're talking about. If I'm honest, I really don't. In the chorus, slow, love, slow, only the weak are not lonely. Maybe he's talking about being called to be a composer at an early age. And he's like, I'm intoxicated by this sound, by the opportunity this affords to express myself. Do I love these things? Do I love this? Do I love you? Or do I love the thought of you? He's just trying to find clarity, right? Truth at this point in his life. Fascinating. Next up is a song called I Want My Tears Back. And we're focused on this lost sense of wonder and innocence. He's looking back as an older person thinking, I used to have these traits when I was a kid, and I had these dreams and this imagination, and this wonder about the world, this innocence, this naivete, that's not there anymore, and they're focusing on that. And this one's going to feature Troy Donockley on his Uilleann pipes. So let's take a look at a song called I Want My Tears Back from Nightwish. Here we go. Okay.
I want my tears back.
Simple request. And that Celtic sound. E minor, right? Relative major. La, sol, do, back in E minor. It's really slick at that.
The treetops, the chimneys, the snowbird stories, winter gray wildflowers, those meadows of heaven, wind in the wheat, a railroad, cross waters, the scent of grandfatherly love, blue bayous, December's moon through a dragonfly screen. Where is the wonder, where's the awe?
Where is the wonder? Where's the awe? Where's Alice knocking on the door?
I like that.
Where the real is shattered by a mad March hare. Them back now. Tell us, Troy. One major, then La, sol, do, back in E minor. Who is Mary Costa? Wish to see the lost in me before the years take me. I wish to see the lost in me. Before the years take me, I want to see the lost. He's not quite ready to give up on this existence yet. Got it. Joined by the guitar. Okay. First double kick I've heard. So he's doing the same motive over the different chords, right? finding this so far to be incredibly cohesive. A lovely, just a lovely journey, isn't it? We get slower songs, we get heavier songs, we get symphonic stuff, we get some trumpet, we get, you know, orchestra, female vocals, male vocals. It's the variety of musical tools that Tuomas uses with this band that really draws me to them. Plus, his point of view is one that I enjoy hearing from, you know? And the music comes out sounding very honest and very sincere, and not like it's trying to be something that it's not. And I'm really, really enjoying it. Up next is a song called Scaretale. This is another one of them that I have heard before. I first heard this in episode 681 over on YouTube, and that time it was the official video. This time it is going to be the original album cut, which is about 30 seconds longer than the official video. And as I read about this one, this is where or when the lullabies and bedtime stories that we hear and love as kids turn into these dark, twisted, fantasy-like stories, you know. It makes sense because I picked this to be an episode near Halloween, the year that I did it. So yeah, it makes sense that I would do that with a song like this. And yeah, when I read into this, or just looking at the lyrics, once upon a time in a daymare, not a nightmare, a daymare. We're living it, you know. Dying to meet you, little child. Enter this sideshow. Time for bed, the cradle still rocks. 13 chimes on a dead man's clock. Tick tock. Tick tock. Alice, you know. It's like Metallica's Enter Sandman, you know. It's sleep tight, but the Sandman is there. Or it's like going from Act 1 of Into the Woods into Act 2. Act 2 is a lot darker, for those of you that haven't seen it, or heard it. So let's get to Scaretale. It's been a long time since I heard this one, and I haven't ever heard it, I believe, maybe I have heard it with Annette, because I saw the official video, but this is going to be the album version of Scaretale by Nightwish. Here we go. Big time.
Ring around the rosy young child, a pocket full of posies.
Creating a big, scary sound like that is actually harder than you think it is. Really nice. Lovely use of pizzicato in the basses. Those basses have such thick strings that even when they pizz, they've still got some length to the sound that they have. He does those thirds so often. Woo! And a key! Key change. Common tone. Chromatic third key change. I think they landed in D minor. Great sounds.
Once upon a time in a day, man, dying to meet you, little child.
Enter this sideshow. She's trying to be sinister in her tone. The bride will lure you, cook you, and eat you. Burning farms and squealing pigs. If you choose to be open to the Matrix, it's going to be a hell of a eye-opening experience, I think, is what he's trying to say. I can't remember if it's the blue pill or the red pill, but if you take this one, it's a hell of a ride. Remember at the beginning we said roller coaster. He ain't lying.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Cirque du Morgue. I hope the snacks are good. Tightrope rockers tightening the noose. Boy, they're all over the place harmonically. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum. This is fun. Wow. Up a step, half step, another half step. This is like a completely different transition into a completely different, uplifting, sort of triumphant section. Heroic horns, long-term brass. The pendulum still sways for you. They're getting sleepy. Wow. Wow. Orchestration is really top notch, y'all. I get the sense like I am hearing almost a movie soundtrack. You know? Sounds like a real organ. And that's going to segue directly into the next song, which is an instrumental. That's a heck of a tune, y'all. Scaretale. So, that came to be and laid out what I expected it to. It feels like the old, remember, we're still from the old guy remembering back on his life, right? So we're going back through his remembrances, and it's like, okay, you want to be an artist? You want to have access to all of the colors and expression to deal with the world around you? Guess what? The world around you is a Cirque de Morgue. It's a shit show. Burning farms, good Lord. Burning farms and squealing pigs, a pool of snakes to swim with. Oh, sweet poison, bite me. What a show we have for you tonight. Restless souls will put on their dancing shoes, mindless ghouls with lots of limbs to lose, illusionists, contortionists, tightrope walkers tightening the noose, horde of spiders, closet tentacles, laughing harpies with their talons ripping. But the pendulum, or the pendulum, it says, always still sways for you. Such are the darks here to show you, child in a corner, fallen mirrors, all kingdom in cinders. It's like biting from the apple of the knowledge of good and evil and having all of that revealed to you, and your naivete cannot be returned to you. You know, it's like a revelation of a deeper truth that cannot be unknown, right? It changes your personality. It changes everything. You know, your outlook, your motivations, your understanding, your trust, your hopes, all of that. You know, it's a really fascinating piece that Tuomas gave for us there, and performed wonderfully. So up next is an instrumental called Arabesque, and apparently here the motifs are going to be inspired by music from the Middle East, and I believe this is where we're going to get that Middle Eastern wind instrument, the sorna, being played. This was written for a scene in the movie, in that parallel movie of the same name, and they decided to include it in the main album. So as Scaretale sort of segues out of itself, we get this little instrumental. It is called Arabesque, and it goes like this. Here we go. Is that more, is it what they're calling, what was that type of percussion? Folk percussion? What do they call it? Ethnic percussion? Ethnic percussion. And there's that woodwind instrument. It's almost like an oboe. Or an English horn. Half step up to a major key. So major 1. And that's up a full step to a new minor key. Bum bum. Bum bum. Some sneaky chromatic half steps in there. So it went down a step, but it went down a step to a minor chord. And it was using that lowered second, right? So it's just sneaky. It's like C to D flat to D and back. Down to C again, right? Cool. Down, back to D. This is nice. He's got driving percussion. He's got a long-term soaring melody. He's got a whole bunch of stuff going with it. It's three-dimensional writing, right? 3 to 4 different layers of different musical ideas going on at once. It's about halfway through the album that we get that. And it would have been really cool to hear it come right out of Scaretale. Lovely, lovely music. Thomas is a wonderful writer, y'all. And it really is one of the perks that makes Nightwish Nightwish. A lot of the metal bands that and symphonic metal bands that we have, kind of at the top echelon of working bands today, a lot of them have guitarists as main composers. And when you have a keyboardist who is your lead composer, just the way that your hands interact with the instrument, the voicings will be slightly more idiomatic to the keyboard than they would be if a guitarist is writing them. Because especially if you're a composer who also performs, you're writing for yourself to play. And you write shit that you want to play, and that you like to play, or that may be challenging for you to play on your instrument. And I believe that Tuomas's music, coming from the hands of a keyboardist, works a little more contrapuntally and three-dimensionally to fit into an orchestral setting. A little bit more than kind of a classic metal that's driven by guitars and might not have any keyboards in the band. Think about when Michael Kamen did the orchestrations for Metallica, and they did those S&M concerts. Those were wonderful because Michael Kamen is so good at adding new ideas that weren't there before, that align to their stuff. It's almost like he had to co-compose some new middle ground and background stuff for the orchestration, just so that those songs could work as well as they did, right? Tuomas is doing all of that in the main production of the piece because it's a bigger ensemble, and the calling it kind of symphonic metal or progressive metal, it's got more harmonic complexity than your traditional heavy metal is going to have. And it's like coloring with 64 crayons instead of 12. You get a more nuanced product. It's really cool. So next up is a song called Turn Loose the Mermaids. And this one is actually going to be a true ballad, and it's going to include some Celtic sounds. And Troy Donockley is back. He's playing his tin whistle on this track. And the composer's remembrance this time turns to the water, specifically those spots where land and sea meet. Okay, we're not talking as much as I think about open water. It's like the shore, and where the river meets the sea, stuff like that. And I believe that the mermaids here personify the love and the passion that feeds his artist's heart, right? So let's take a look at Turn Loose the Mermaids from Nightwish. Here we go. No intro.
At the end of the line, far, far away, a child holding on to the magic of birth and all.
C minor. Beautiful. I love that you can hear the bow on the low violin.
Oh, how beautiful it used to be, just you and me, far beyond the sea. The water scarce in motion, quivering as steam. At the end of the river, the sundown
For that 6.
all the relics of a lifelong lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your one sleep, the journey from your eyes.
At the end of the river, the sundown beams, all the relics of a life long lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your wand, sleep the journey from your eyes.
Good journey, love, time to go. I checked your teeth and warmed your toes. In the horizon, I see them coming for you. The mermaid graced the forever call, beauty and spyglass on an old man's porch. The mermaid's
Relative major.
loose brought back your tears.
Back to the minor key, C
At
minor.
the end of the river, the sundown beams, all the relics of a lifelong lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your one sleep, the journey from your eyes. At the end of the river, the sundown beams, all the relics of a lifelong lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your one sleep, the journey from your eyes. At the end of the river, the sundown beams, all the relics of a lifelong lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your one sleep, the journey from your eyes. At the end of the river, the sundown beams, all the
This sounds like something I would hear like in a Disney movie, you know, as they're weaving their stories. Like this could be in Brave, you know, especially with the Celtic sound. I can't believe I got beads everywhere again, y'all. Happened on the prettiest song of the album. That's lovely. Turn Loose the Mermaids. It's a song of affirmation, you know? At the end of the river, the sundown beams all the relics of a life long lived. It's like, we see you, Mother Nature. At the end of the river, at the end of your life, the sundown, the illumination, the understanding beams all the relics, all of the proof, all of the archival things left over from a life long lived. Here, weary traveler, rest your wand, your magic. You've done well. Sleep the journey from your eyes. Halfway through, it's like, yeah. The mermaids, you turn loose, brought, verse 4, the mermaids grace the forever call, beauty and spyglass on an old man's porch. The mermaids, you turn loose, brought back your tears. Interesting. So, the mermaids being the messengers of his hope for a return to that naivete, that innocence, I think. To rediscover that wonder, I think. I had to join in with the shaker, and I'll have to fix it again. Oh well. The next song on the album is called Rest Calm, and here we get vocals from both Marco and Annette. And where the previous song that we heard was a lovely ballad with a Celtic feel, this one is described as one of the heavier songs on the album, and it's inspired by sounds from the subgenre of doom metal, which I believe is really heavy, but also relatively slow, and not necessarily like fast, like speed metal or anything, but just, that's my understanding of it. But let's hear what Rest Calm sounds like from Nightwish. Here we go. Okay. Big D minor. C, D flat. Suspended and down. Deathbed Memories of Home. So that's flat 6 to 5. Fascinating. Not as heavy as I would have thought, for the chorus especially. You are the moon pulling my black waters. Up a step. Is Annette singing lower than Marco there? That's pretty cool. Six, seven, 1, 3, 7, 6, 1, D minor, minor 5, up to 6, to 7, and he goes up to F, down to C. Now he goes back. That's the 4. Or 2 to 1, major. So they're still in D. I like this. We're far from, wow, nice vocals, Marco. We're far from how this started. I went to die in a seaside hotel. But now he's remembering that maybe he had a breakdown or a very tough part of his life and thought about taking his life. But he's calm in every little memory of that event. The faces of the past keep calling to me to come back home. Resting in a dream, smiling back at me. Grace. He's giving himself grace, or he's feeling grace from the universe. Love the trumpet. This is cool. What the strings are doing is counter melody. What the brass is doing is all counter melody. Really great songwriting and composing and orchestrating. That's a heck of a song. I like that a lot more than I thought I would based on what I read about it. You know, I'm reading about, the last song was a ballad and I really like that. And then it goes on to say, well, this one's going to be really heavy and inspired by doom metal. I'm like, okay, gird your loins, Doug. There's going to be double kick and all of that. No, it was really cool. I quite enjoyed that. Okay, so we're going to go back to a ballad now, and it's a song called The Crow, the Owl, and the Dove. This is the second single released from the album. It's co-written by Thomas and Marco. And Marco quipped that it's kind of funny that the most poppy ballad on the album is co-composed by the most metalhead dude in the band, meaning himself. Which I found humorous. Troy Donockley is back with some vocals and I think the tin whistle. And remember, our point of view here is still from that of the old composer on his deathbed. And it seems to me, as I read through this, and the lyrics are really profound, y'all, that the storyteller has gotten to this point in his life. He has experienced life with courage, with pride, with a positive self-image, and that's personified here by the crow. He's grown in wisdom, personified here by the owl, and he's experienced love, personified here by the dove. And I think what's missing, or what he's searching for, is the truth of it all. You know, what's it all for? Why? You know, what's it all mean? I think he's going to say that I had, you know, I developed a positive self-image, and I worked, and I'm proud of it. I've got wisdom. I've got love. I've got confidence in myself, but still, why? Why? You know, that's what I think that this song is going to do, or at least raise those questions and those aspects of our experience, our human experience, are personified, I believe, in these animals: the crow, the owl, and the dove. So let's see what it sounds like. The Crow, the Owl, and the Dove from Nightwish. Here we go. Six, 7, 1.
Don't give me love.
Don't give me faith.
Wisdom of pride, giving a satisfaction. Don't give me love.
I've had my share.
6, 5, 6.
A crow flew to me.
Crow flew to me.
Kept its distance, such a proud creation. I saw it so, envied its pride, but needed nothing it had. An owl came to me.
Owl.
Old and wise, pierced right through my
Old and wise, it pierced right through my youth. I learned its ways.
its ways, envied its sense, but needed nothing it had.
Don't give me love.
Don't give me faith.
So this is the chorus.
Pride, giving a satisfaction.
So they started with the chorus.
I've had my share.
You need a rest, give me true
A came to me.
The dove came to me.
It rested on my arm. I touched its calm, envied its love, but needed nothing it had. A swan of white, she
So that's going to be 4 to 1. So this is the Swan of White. It's being beauty, purity, and grace. This is foreign language. It is kind of poppy, isn't it? Don't give me love, don't give me faith, wisdom, nor pride. Give innocence instead. Give me wonder, curiosity. Give me truth instead.
me love, don't give me faith, wisdom or pride, give innocence instead. Don't give me love, I've had my share, beauty nor rest, give me truth instead.
All of these songs are beautiful. There hasn't been one I disliked. You know what I mean? There's not a dud on the album. It's really cohesive. So in that bridge where I said I think it's a foreign language, they were using the word river. It's gar, G-A-R, and then T-U-H-T, gar tut, river, comma, ger, G-E-R-T-E, gerte, and then reged, R-H-E-G-E-D. I don't know what that means. But yeah, don't give me love. I understand that. Don't give me faith. You know, don't give me wisdom. I've got that. Don't give me pride. I've got that. I need innocence. I need wonder. I need a return to that looking for something. Don't give me love. I know that. I've had my share, it says. Don't give me beauty. Don't give me rest. I need the truth. I need why? What's it all for? A lovely tune. Really, really great. Next up is Last Ride of the Day. And I did not find much background on this one, y'all. But I know that the inspiration for the song is the experience of being on a roller coaster. And that's part of how Tuomas has described what he's equating the ups and downs of life too, as experiencing a roller coaster. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's steep, sometimes it makes you throw up, and sometimes it's a thrill, you know. I think many of us know what it's like. I mean, it's called Last Ride of the Day. So if it's based on, you know, the experience of being on a roller coaster, I'm sure that come on, I think we've all done this, or we know what it's like to be at an amusement park and they're getting close to being closed and you have one last shot at your favorite ride, and you take the ride and it's a rush and it's filled with joy and you're happy to be there and you're enjoying it, but it's also bittersweet, because you know it's going to be the last time, at least on that trip, that you get to experience it, you know. And especially if you're traveling, or, you know, you take this wonderful trek and you're like, wow, I see this, and you know that I'll probably never get to see this again. The emotions are wide-ranging, aren't they? From awe and joy and thankfulness to melancholy and bittersweetness. You know, it's all there. Being a human is a little bit messy, isn't it? Yeah. So let's hear what they've got with Last Ride of the Day and see how much of a roller coaster they take us on. Off we go. Starts back in D. It's a great key for metal and orchestra to play. D's a approachable key to all of the instruments. They get a little bit of Duel of the Fates in that.
We live in every moment, but this one, why don't we recognize the faces loving us? So what's God, if not the spark that started like skyline? Strangers, sweet music, stories, wonder,
4, 5, 6.
wherever
4, 5, 6. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Huh.
fresh moon, grass in the morning, sun open, theme park, kids waiting for riding the day every day into sunset.
Riding the day every day into sunset and finding the way back home. I don't like the straight kick on this. Just keep it driving. It loses power. I'm sorry. And for something that's buoyant and kind of off and going, no. Wake up, dead boy. We had an Adventureland where I was growing up. It was in Des Moines. Amusement park. Abracadabra. It's hard to light a candle. It's easy to curse the dark instead. Wow. Relative major. Back to minor. Nice. Direct modulation. Up by a step from where they were. Easy to curse the dark instead. And it ends unfinished. So we're still on the ride. I like it. I like it. You know, in a concept album, it's not just the songs that are important, it's the order that they come in, you know, and that particular song, it works great here towards the end of the album, and it wouldn't have worked as well near the front. You know what I mean? Once upon a night we'll wake to the carnival of life. The beauty of this ride ahead, such an incredible high. It's hard to light a candle, easy to curse the dark instead. This moment of the dawn of humanity, the last ride of the day. Is he saying that the dawn of humanity is when we kind of move on, our energy moves on from this experience and into something else? Riding the day, every day into sunset, finding the way back home. Both are important. Both are important. Okay, so the last real song of the album, and the longest one on the album, is up next. It is called Song of Myself. It is a 4-parter in about 13 and a half minutes. I first heard this in episode 463, but I didn't hear all of it. When I heard that, it was a live or a shortened version with Floor from that Wacken show in 2013. And in that performance, they did not include the last section of this piece, which, as I understand it, is like several minutes of just spoken word recitations of prose and poetic writing. I believe from Walt Whitman, because the song, as I recall, as we all might recall, is an overt reference to the famous poem of the same name by Walt Whitman, Song of Myself. It's a long original poem by Whitman. I don't know much about it. I don't still think that I've ever read it. But in this instance, Tuamis is not using the poem as a basis for his song lyrics. It's not like he's picking and choosing Whitman's own writing and putting it in the lyrics. Instead, I think he's the old composer, and Whitman's writing is speaking to him, and he is then providing a response to Whitman's writing. And so if Walt Whitman says, "This is my song," then the composer says, "Well, this is mine. If you can share, so can I." I believe that's what we are up to. And I've never heard this version, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one comes together. I remember liking it quite a bit. So let's take a look at Song of Myself from Nightwish. Here we go. D minor. He does like that key. Lovely glockenspiel over the top of it. Doubled like 2 octaves, 3 octaves higher than the low idea in the strings. Really smooth. 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Nightingale is still locked in the cage. The deep breath I took still poisons my lungs. An old oak sheltering me from the blue. Sunbathing on its dead fruits and leaves. A kidnap in the ghost town of my heart. She dreams of story time and with a ghost. Of mermaids of Whitman's and the ride.
Of mermaids, of Whitman's and the ride, raving harlequins, gigantic toys.
A song of me, a song in need of a courageous symphony. A verse
Those are the 4.
in need of a pure heart singing me to peace.
Love those little callbacks to the circus element of it, the fairy tale element of it all. Yeah, they give an occasional bar of regular 8 in there, but most of it, or they did the bar of 8 to go into this, where they're now still in common time. All that great heart lying still on an angel wing.
Now all that great heart lying still inside and suffering, flying like a cloud until the show has come to an end. What is left for encore is the same old dead boy song, sung in silence.
Leading tone, factor 1. Woo! So this goes into part 3, called Piano Black, an instrumental section. Or at least it starts with an instrumental section. You hear the very low piano, the lowest D. It's a great percussion instrument down there for an orchestra to use. That's really cool to hear that grand piano down that low. It's one of the great ways to get that low D, a D1, that clearly and percussively. Love the reverb on the big drums. This gives it immensity of scope. Still and slowly dying. That great heart lying still on an angel wing. And I think that's where Floor left off in the original performance. Right? But that's only half of our track. So we go into part 4, which is called Love, and I believe it's going to be different members of the band.
I see a slow, simple youngster by a busy street, with a begging bowl in his shaking hand, trying to smile but hurting him infinitely. Nobody notices. I do but walk by. An old man gets naked and kisses a model doll in his attic. It's half light and he's in tears. When he finally comes, his eyes are cascading. I see a beaten dog in a pungent alley. He tries to bite me. All pride has left his wild, drooling eyes. I wish I had my leg to spare. mother visits her son, smiles to him through the bars. She's never loved him more. And a beast girl enters an elevator with me, all dressed up fancy, a green butterfly on her neck. Terribly sweet perfume deafens me. She's going to dinner alone. That makes her even more beautiful. I see a model's face on a brick wall, a statue of porcelain perfection beside a violent city kill. A city that worships flesh.
The first thing I ever heard was a wandering man telling his story.
Is that a net?
It was you, the grass under my bare feet,
He went
the
up a key.
campfire in the dead of the night, the heavenly black of sky and sea.
It was us, roaming the rainy roads, combing the gilded beaches, waking up to a new gallery of wonders every morn, bathing in places no one's seen before, shipwrecked on some matte-painted island, clad in nothing but the surf, beauty's finest road.
Beyond all mortality we are, swinging in the
Multiple
breath
voices.
of nature, in the air of the dawn of life, a sight to silence the heavens.
I want to travel where life travels, following its permanent lead, where the air tastes like snow music, where grass smells like fresh-born Eden. I would pass no man, no stranger, no tragedy or rapture. I would bathe in a world of sensation, love, goodness, and simplicity.
While violated and imprisoned by technology.
Violated and imprisoned by
was the
technology.
only moment they used to experience true love. That love remains infinite.
As I never be the man my father is.
How can you just be yourself when you don't know who you are? Stop saying, I know how you feel. How could anyone know how another feels?
Who am I to judge a priest, beggar,
That's a deep voice.
or politician, wrongdoer? I am, you are, all of them already.
Dear child, stop working. Go play. Forget every rule. There's no fear in a dream.
Amen.
Is there a village inside this snowflake?
A child asked me.
What's the color of our lullaby?
I've never been so close to truth as then I touched its silver lining.
Huh. I've never been so close to truth as then.
Death is the winner in any war. Nothing noble in dying for your religion, for your country.
Agreed.
For ideology, for faith, for another man. Yes.
Turns major. Listen to that.
Paper is dead without words, ink idle without a poem, all the world dead without stories.
Without love and the Sami beauty.
Careless realism costs souls.
Ever seen the Lord smile?
Back to Tuamas.
All the care for the world made beautiful a sad man. Why do we still carry a device of torture around our necks? Oh, how rotten your pre-apocalypse is. all you Bible black fools living over nightmare ground. I see all those empty cradles and wonder if man will ever change. I too wish to be a decent man boy, but all I am is smoke and mirrors. Still, given everything, may I be deserving. And there forever remains that change from G to E minor.
That's breathtaking. Boy, that really hit me, y'all. Especially that last little bit. It's really effective, isn't it? It was paced really, really well. I don't know where those words come from. I thought that it would be some Whitman, but I don't think that is. Some of it might be, but I'm sure that a decent portion of that is not. It just doesn't sound like Whitman, you know? Dear child, stop working, go play. Forget every rule, there is no fear in a dream. We sometimes feel so shackled or stuck in a rut. You know, this experience could be so vastly different than what it is. There's a spot here, and it says, death is the winner in any war. Nothing noble. There's nothing noble in dying for your religion. There's nothing noble in dying for your country. There's nothing noble in dying for your ideology, for your faith. But there is nobility in dying for someone else. That's what I read there. Goes on. Paper is dead without words. Language, to go back to Dumbledore, is our most inexhaustible source of magic. Language, right? Paper is dead without words. Ink idle without a poem. All the world dead without stories, without love and disarming beauty. Careless realism costs souls. And then I want to read this last part aloud, if you'll grant me the grace to do it. Ever seen the Lord smile? All the care for the world made beautiful a sad man. Why do we still carry a device of torture around our necks? That stuck out to me. You know what he's talking about, right? The cross. The cross. I've been traumatized most of my life by, some Christians look at the cross as a symbol of grace and love, but it was a torture device, and you come to this building on a weekly basis, sometimes in my case as a kid, 2, 3, 4 times a week, and you see nothing but reminders of torture. Why do we still carry around a device of torture around our necks? Oh, how rotten your pre-apocalypse is. All you Bible black fools living over nightmare ground, I see all those empty cradles and wonder if man will ever change. Then he says, I too wish to be a decent man boy, but all I am is smoke and mirrors. I wish to be decent. I wish to achieve all this stuff, but really it's just, I'm putting out what I don't know, Then it says, still given everything, may I be deserving, and there forever remains that change from G to E minor. That's relative major to relative minor. It's the same notes, the same steps, but in one arrangement, they point, the point to home is a major sound with a major third. And with the other, the point to home is a minor sound with a minor third. And slightly different aspects on the exact same notes. How you arrange them, how you look at them, your perspective gives them their change, Of course, this is his point of view. I don't want to come across as bashing of faith or anything, but I'm trying to be empathetic to what he's saying. And I understand, I think, what he's trying to say. It's, when it comes down to it, think about the experiences of your life, the wisdom you've gained, the love you've had and lost, the wisdom you've gained, the sense of self that you've had, all of that, your hope in things to come, your grieving, all of that. Does it really need anything supernatural to make it worth it? He's saying it doesn't. It actually clouds it. Just have wonder. Have that wonder, have that naivete, have that spirit of adventure. And try not to get bogged down on systems that keep you from expressing that true self and searching out that true self, That's basically how the album ends, y'all. That's why this feels like a end of the album what does it all mean, Doug? type thing. We have a song left, but it's an instrumental. And it's the title track. It's called Imaginaerum, and it serves basically as a reverse overture. This was conceived as a piece that could run during the credits of the movie. And with the help of their orchestral arranger, Pip Williams, Tuomas and Pip, they weave together some of the album's main musical themes, and I think we're going to hear a full orchestral treatment. So let's finish things out with the very last track on Imaginaerum. It is the title track. Off we go. Right. Of course, they'd start in D. Beautiful. I think a callback to the very first little Celtic piece, right? The one that started with a T in the long name. A little tremolo in the strings. on the move. In the story time, right? It's a great song. Got a real catchy, and listen to all of the backing secondary melodies that they wrote in. That's great. Where are they off to now? I'm not going to be able to remember all of these callbacks. I'll remember the themes, but not which songs they come from. It's like a Nightmare Before Christmas, you know? It's like he's half Hans Zimmer and half Danny Elfman and himself and channeling metal and all of these great sounds. Oh, yeah. Which one was this one from? Remember. The Middle Eastern woodwind makes a reappearance. So we're in E minor. 4, 1, 7. Yeah. So they're not even changing keys, they're just moving from one idea to another that both happen to be in E minor. And it still gives us time between one and the other to make that transition. Down a half step, then back. Oh, this is the stuff from that, all the prose, the spoken word at the very end. Nice. Sounds wonderful. No way. Okay, this is cool. Remember the last line that Tuomas reads or speaks to us? And there forever remains that change from G to E minor. And guess what two chords they're doing? That's G, E minor, G. Of course, G is the third of that chord, and it's the root of that chord. Right? But it's not an accident. That it ends that way. That's pretty darn special. That's really special. And there forever remains that change from G to E minor. He's talking about perspective, right? G major, E minor, it's the same scale. They just have different home notes. And sometimes you just land on home bass that has a major third in its outlook. And sometimes you land on home bass or you're at home, and sometimes it's a minor chord that is your outlook. Minor chords don't have to be sad. Major chords don't have to be happy. A lot of sad songs are written in major keys, and a lot of really powerful and heroic songs are written in minor keys. So it just depends on how you use them, right? But that, I think, is what he's talking about. It's all about your perspective. Wow, wow. How long have I been talking? We're a little over 2 hours. Whew. This has been a real special listen, y'all. I can imagine, you know, going down the road on a car trip and popping this in and hearing the whole album from front to back, and it being just a glorious experience, you know? There's not a bad song or a weak song on the entire album. We've done some biggies in the extended play lounge in the past. Some Dream Theater, Neil Morse Band, Quadrophenia as a double album, The Wall as a double album. Some of these just long, involved. Tommy, we did, you know, that are just monumental works of art. And this was as good as any of them. I liked it. I really, really did. He's got his own style. We were talking about, you know, Tuomas's outlook as a keyboardist who performs in his own band, who also writes the music. I read that after this, he was like, y'all, I've kind of reached my pinnacle here. I don't know what I'm going to do after this. They didn't have another album until the spring of 2015. This came out in 2011, so it took him 4 years to get another album out. It took him 5 years after that. But this particular album continued their streak, especially in their home country of Finland, with having #1 records. And it ended up charting in 24 countries, and so further solidifying their global stature. And this is a decade before I even knew anything about them, right? And so I consider myself to be a relative newbie to Nightwish. I still haven't heard the vast majority of their output, actually. I've done a lot of their songs, but this is the first time I've ever heard one of their albums from front to back, and it makes me want to listen to more. I ain't lying, y'all. That was a lovely experience. Lengthy, for sure, but a lovely experience. All the sounds, I mean, holy crap, was that well engineered. Orchestral and big rock with great vocals and everything else. It takes a deft touch to make all that sound that good. So by the time that they get to their next album, which is Endless Form's Most Beautiful, it's Floor who's the lead singer and not Annette. I actually enjoy Annette's singing. I think going from a net to floor is less of a jarring change than it was going from Tarja to a net. A net's voice is quite a bit lighter and less operatic than Tarja's. So if you like the big operatic voice with this kind of music, I wonder how this album or Annette's tenure in the band lays with you. I would be curious to know, those of you that have been Nightwish fans since, for the duration, for a long time, and you've experienced all three of their main singers. Do you have a favorite era from the band? I would be curious. I haven't heard as much of the really early stuff from Nightwish. A lot of the middle of their output and their more recent stuff is where I've kind of been focused. And I continue to find them to be highly entertaining, a great band, and one that kind of hits a couple of ticks a couple of boxes for me. There's the style, the harmonic style is varied, and it's always moving one place or the other, but the way that he does it becomes, as I'm learning the way that Tuomas writes, it becomes guessable to me, so it becomes a little easier to follow. But the fact that it's a fun and diverse maze makes it that much more fun. If I'm just doing a song that's got 3 chords, you figure it out within the first 15-20 seconds, and then it's the same thing over and over again. You start looking for other things that you can pull out of the song from an analysis point of view. But here, it's always a fun roller coaster adventure. He writes a lot in 4-phrase chunks, and then he moves to something else. That works very well. Our main song forms are based on 4 phrases. 32-bar song form is 4, 8-measure phrases, and so on. But it's just a pleasure to go through and follow his writing and their performing. And so it was great to finally get some Nightwish here in the extended play lounge. I really enjoyed this one, y'all. It took me a long time to read in for this one, but it was a labor of love. And of course, this is going to be a long video, so if you made it all the way to the end, I thank you very much for your support and for hanging out with me. I think this music deserves the best I can bring to a video like this. I tried my best, y'all, and I really enjoyed it. I hope to get to more Nightwish, and I hope that it doesn't take another 90 episodes before I get to another one. We need to come back to them a little more often, because if the rest of their albums are anything like this one, in their scope, in their consistency, in their musicality, bring it on. It's going to be fun. So, this has been Extended Play Lounge, episode number 89, Imaginaerum by Nightwish. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Dog.